You know exactly what needs to be done. A task is sitting in front of you, and you can picture the steps clearly. You may have even planned the order in your head. But when it comes to taking action, your body stays still, your mind loops endlessly, and the hours slip by. You are not lazy. You are not unmotivated. You are simply stuck, caught in a space where knowing does not automatically lead to doing. This is a common experience, often referred to as task paralysis or executive dysfunction. It affects people who are otherwise capable, intelligent, and competent. It is not about willpower or motivation. It is about the way your brain organizes, regulates, and initiates action. When any of the systems involved in executive functioning are overloaded or misfiring, even the simplest tasks can feel impossible. Executive functioning refers to a set of mental processes that help you plan, focus, remember instructions, and manage multiple tasks. These include planning, working memory, self-regulation, and task initiation. Each of these is required for translating knowledge into action. When one or more of these systems are strained, you may know exactly what to do but still find yourself unable to start. Think of your brain like a car. Knowing what needs to happen is like having a destination in mind. But the car needs fuel, functioning parts, and a clear road. Without those, the car will not move. Similarly, your brain requires sufficient mental bandwidth, emotional regulation, and environmental support to translate intention into action. Understanding this distinction is vital. It moves the conversation away from blame and shame toward clarity and strategy. One of the most common reasons people struggle to act is overthinking the first step. A task that appears simple on the surface may involve multiple layers in your mind. You may anticipate problems that may never occur, weigh countless options, or rehearse scenarios endlessly. By the time you feel ready to start, the day may already be over. This is not laziness, it is a natural protective mechanism. Your brain is trying to prevent discomfort, stress, or potential failure. Paradoxically, this same mechanism can prevent progress entirely. To counter this, it helps to reduce cognitive load by breaking tasks into extremely small, concrete steps. If you need to write a report, the first step might simply be to open a blank document. Not to outline, not to research, not to plan every detail. Just open the file. This tiny action removes mental friction and allows your brain to begin engaging with the task. Once the first step is taken, momentum often follows. Emotions play a powerful role in task paralysis. Tasks are rarely neutral. They carry emotional weight, which can trigger anxiety, self-doubt, or perfectionism. These feelings can block action almost as effectively as cognitive overload. Recognizing and acknowledging these emotions is essential. Naming your anxiety, accepting your frustration, or taking a moment to journal can release the mental grip these feelings have over you. Emotional awareness is not a distraction, it is a prerequisite for effective action. It is important to remember that executive dysfunction is not a moral failing. People with ADHD, depression, anxiety, or chronic burnout often experience these difficulties. They are not weak or lazy. They are facing a functional challenge rooted in how the prefrontal cortex processes planning, focus, and task initiation. Understanding this removes shame and replaces it with insight. This is a brain-based challenge, not a personal flaw. A practical way to overcome inaction is to structure your environment so that it naturally supports movement. Our brains respond strongly to context, and even small obstacles can create disproportionate resistance. Reducing distractions, arranging your workspace, and removing unnecessary friction can make the first step feel achievable rather than overwhelming. For example, if you need to send an important email, having a draft prepared and your inbox ready can eliminate the mental load of starting from scratch. Similarly, if a task requires physical or mental energy you may not yet have, you can prepare the environment in advance so the first action is effortless. By creating a path of least resistance, you allow action to occur without relying solely on willpower. Another factor that often blocks progress is task switch paralysis. When multiple responsibilities compete for attention, deciding which one to tackle first can become paralyzing. Ironically, having more options can increase inertia rather than provide clarity. One way to counter this is to externalize the decision-making process. Write down every task, and then identify only the next actionable step. By focusing on a single concrete action, your brain doesn't have to juggle competing priorities, and the internal conflict that fuels procrastination diminishes. Using a list, planner, or even guidance from a trusted person can further simplify decision-making. When the next step is clear and tangible, it removes the burden of choosing and reduces the anxiety that often accompanies executive dysfunction. Structuring your environment and externalizing decisions are not about forcing yourself to be productive. They are about working with your brain's natural tendencies, lowering mental friction, and making it easier to take the first step. Often, that first step is all it takes to generate momentum and restore a sense of control over your day. Perfectionism can disguise itself as preparation. Many people spend more time planning than acting because they fear doing something incorrectly. Every detail is scrutinized, every step imagined, until the starting line moves farther away. The antidote is to redefine success for the first step. The goal is not perfection, the goal is action. Starting imperfectly generates momentum and feedback, which encourages continuation. Even minimal progress is far more effective than perfect inaction. Feelings of guilt or frustration about inaction are common but can intensify paralysis if left unchecked. Compassion toward yourself is not indulgence, it is a strategic tool. When you approach yourself with understanding rather than criticism, stress hormones decrease and executive functioning improves. Try speaking to yourself as you would a friend who is struggling. Replace thoughts like, "I should just do this," with, "I notice I am stuck, and that is okay. What is one small thing I can do right now?" This simple shift moves your brain from self-reproach to problem-solving. Here are some practical strategies for overcoming the gap between knowing and doing. Micro steps. Break tasks into the smallest possible units. Opening a document, putting on shoes, or writing a single sentence is enough to begin. Small steps are psychologically easier and often snowball naturally. Externalized planning. Use lists, calendars, or a trusted person to determine the next step. Offloading decisions reduces mental friction and frees cognitive resources. Emotion awareness. Identify and validate your feelings before attempting action. Anxiety, fear, or self-doubt can block progress, but acknowledging them reduces their power. Environmental support. Arrange your surroundings to make starting easier and distractions harder. Preparation and setup are often more effective than sheer willpower. Redefine success. Focus on starting, not finishing. Imperfect action produces momentum, feedback, and confidence. Self-compassion. Treat yourself with kindness. Executive dysfunction is a functional challenge, not a personal flaw. Understanding this improves emotional and cognitive capacity. Time-limited exposure. Commit to a short, defined period of work, such as 5 or 10 minutes. Often, the hardest part is simply starting, and once you do, continuation becomes easier. It is essential to understand that you are not alone in this experience. Millions of intelligent, capable people struggle with knowing what to do but being unable to move. Recognizing this as a common, manageable problem is liberating. It shifts the focus from blame to strategy and reduces the stress that often exacerbates paralysis. The most important takeaway is this: action does not begin with motivation. It begins with clarity, structure, and self-compassion. You can take meaningful steps forward without overhauling your entire life, without battling your brain, and without harsh self-criticism. Start where you are. Take one small step. Allow momentum to grow naturally. Over time, these small actions compound into significant progress. If you want more guidance on navigating executive dysfunction and bridging the gap between knowing and doing, consider subscribing. This channel shares calm, insight-driven strategies to help you understand your mind and gently reclaim your ability to act. There is no hype, no pressure, only practical tools and understanding. You already know what needs to be done. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is give yourself permission to start. One step at a time. One small action. One moment of movement. That is how change begins.